Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Sim Racing Points Truck Series here, the Wraptor Graphix 200 here at Pocono Raceway for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series, presented by Full Throttle Television. My name's Brody Hanna, and in the booth with me a special guest from the Fine Line and Whiskey podcast, Brian Messer. Brian, welcome to the booth, man.
I appreciate it, Brody.
We're looking forward to some great racing here at the Tricky Triangle. This track is treacherous for some drivers. Some drivers like it, some really don't. but it's going to be a fun race tonight for this guy. The 11th race of the season for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. These guys are going to be tackling 3 different types of turns here at Pocono Raceway. We'll look at our race analysis or race info. There is the track description. 3 different corners, 3 different bankings, 3 different radiuses here. Brian, it's going to be a challenging race for these guys out here.
Yeah, I think the restarts are going to be pretty wild, but once we get deep into the trenches there, we're going to see everybody kind of single out a little bit, and track position is going to be really key for today's race.
Yeah, track position. It's going to be about those pit stops. We've got a quick stage 2, only 15 laps for the stage for these guys to race to. So they're going to be on top of it to start here. Let's look back at our results from last week. Looking back at the Kansas 200 for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. Nicholas Moreau back on top. Justin Gann chasing him down. Those are the 2 guys we've got to watch. They have been really quick here tonight. Kyle Milliken having a good run last week as well. But remember, you had Britt Casey was leading the points at one point. Victor Pfluger's hard charging out there. Jonathan Atkins is going to be hard to beat. A lot of guys out there we have to watch. Anybody could really show up and show out at this track because it'd be just by it being so unique.
Yeah, I think Justin Gann was at the top of the leaderboard there in practice before Nicholas Moreau showed up and put on a show.
Yep, you got even Ryan Chapman looking at the points. Ryan Chapman right there as well is one name we forgot to mention. Brett Gardner up there, Clark Gennican right there as well. I mean, those points are tight, pretty close there from second on back, although Nicholas Moreau has a pretty sizable points lead. I think it's because Ryan Chapman missed the race and some of those guys falling back a little bit from him. So he's in clear selling position. We're looking at the schedule here, though. Pocono Raceway, and then we have Texas Motor Speedway. We got Watkins Glen and Dover to finish off the season. Only 4 races left for these guys, counting today, and we're getting down to it in the points.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see what those guys in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th position in the standings will be able to do and cutting into Nicholas Moreau's 50-plus point lead. And, I'd be really interested to see what those guys do tonight, especially with Ryan Chapman being present, Justin Gann sitting in currently the P2 position, and Brett Gardner shortly behind him on the inside row 2.
They're going to have to charge up there and try to make something happen. Nick is going to be hard to beat, though. He's very consistent. All these tracks, he's going to be hard to capitalize on that, but they're going to surely put up a fight. They're trying to do everything they can to get into contention for sure. Well, qualifying is finished. They're gridding up. We're going to throw it over to our starting lineup for tonight's Wraptor Graphix 200 here at Pocono. Starting from the pole is last week's winner and our points leader, Nicholas Moreau. The 15 Toyota going to start from the 1st position. To his outside, the guy chasing him, the 3 of Justin Gann. We were talking about those 2. They're going to line up 1 and 2 here on the starting grid. Couple of Rams in row 2, with 3rd place going to Brett Gardner in the 00, with the 17 of Ryan Chapman starting in 4th position. 5th spot going to go to the Colton Gum Toyota, newcomer here to the series. He started this season, first started the season for him. And Jonathan Atkins going to join him in the 1 on row 3. 7th spot going to go to Victor Pfluger in the number 18, and starting to his outside, the 72 of Jack Ritchie. That's going to be row 4. Row 5 and 9th spot going to be Darren Clement in the number 32, and 10th spot going to go to the 27 of Clark Gennican. 11th spot going to Austin Demore, and starting beside him in 12th is Ty Lounsbury. I believe that was last week's pole sitter. 13th going to Zach Stevens after a win last night in the Vanlilys Sticker Series at Talladega. He's starting from the 13th position, and 14th going to Chris Susky. 15th spot going to go to Chris Gore in the number 89, and 16th to Robert Malikian in the 16.
In the 17th position, we have Simon Madgen, who's in the 46 car. Outside of him, we'll have the 88 of Britt Casey. In the 19th position, Stephen Hassett in the 91 car. In the 20th position, somebody that we're going to have to pay attention to tonight is Kyle Milliken in the 42. In the 21st position, we have the 50 of Martin Garreau. In the 22nd position, we have Michael Thwatts in the 99. In the 23rd position, 13 car, Aaron Satcher. 24th place, 36 car, Dave Nestor. 25th position, 71 and Casey McMullen. He had an interesting race Monday night. In the 26th position, we have the 69 of Mike Forstner. In the 27th position, the 87 car of Christopher Harrison.
All right, and you have J.C. Evans. You see some of the other drivers back there. J.C. Evans, Alan Duranco back there, Joseph Burgess, Donnie Batiste going to be starting deep in the field. Marshall Johnson, tough qualifying run for him. Ted Pullen, Michael Blackner, Brian Bliss, Joshua O'Connor, and that will round out your field here. 38 trucks to take the green here tonight at Pocono. So as they get ready to start up, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Fine Line of Whiskey podcast before we go green here?
Yeah, so the Fine Line of Whiskey podcast was kind of meant to be, a joke on a bar napkin, right? It was an idea that we initially came up with several years ago. And myself and Nick, my co-host, we primarily spent most of our time talking about the race on Sundays. And we kept saying we wanted to come out with a podcast. But yeah, check it out. We talk about racing, we talk about iRacing, and we're also going to be starting our iRacing showcase segment on Friday nights.
That's right. You guys got some new stuff coming up as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing that. Listen to the podcast. Sounds good, man. You guys keep up the good work. They're going to come off turn 4 here. The pace car is going to dip the pit road. Nicholas Moreau leading them down. Justin Gann in second. Ryan Chapman, Brett Gardner, Colton Gum, your top 5. Green flag flies, and we're off and racing here at Pocono.
Yeah, first 2 rows are definitely side by side. As Guy goes in the inside there, we're 3 wide going into turn 1.
3 wide already for the lead. As Ryan Chapman, Brett Gardner looks to the inside. Nicholas Moreau, Justin Gann, 3 wide coming off the corner.
That outside lane propelled really well as we enter the straightaway here, going into the tunnel turn. It's going to be really tight here.
And Gann's going to jump out front. Brett Gardner going to take second, or is he? Here comes Jonathan Atkins challenging for that on the outside.
Those cold tires here. Everybody needs to be careful.
Oh,
and we got to spin off the tunnel turn here.
We got several cars involved. J.C. Evans involved. We're looking at Dave Nestor involved here. Derek Cadd involved as well. A lot of trucks back there with trouble. Talked about Casey McMullen. I think he got a piece of that as well as the first caution flies as they're halfway through the first lap.
Yeah, I think that was the deal of cold tires there. People just don't have that front bite.
We were so focused on the 3 wide racing at the front that it got a little too chaotic in the back. Let's look at our Best One Tire and Auto Care instant replay and see what happened here with these guys. Going into the corner. Aaron Satcher gets sideways. Dave Nestor gets caught up in that. Yeah, I don't know if did that start with Satcher just getting loose, or did he get into another truck? Let's look again.
It looked like he might have just maybe missed the corner on entry and got up into 50 of the row. And then obviously that pitched the nose into the inside turn there, and I think he just lost it with rear bite. And as the field is just diving into the turn 2, there's really nowhere else to go there. Yeah. Collected a lot of good trucks.
That's right on board with Satcher. I think that's right. He just kind of charged the corner and got up the track, tried to stay off the truck in front, and unfortunately turned his truck around. Tight racing, and unfortunately gets run in from behind. Of course, when you spin in the middle of that tunnel turn, that's a tight corner anyway. When you spin, turn sideways there's really nowhere for some of these trucks to go.
Yeah, that is a 1-lane dictated turn there, and if you're in that second lane with no rubber being laid down this early in the race, it's just going to lead to more incidents there. Got to be patient.
You're scared to slow down too because you're so packed up on these restarts. You'll get run into from behind as well.
Yeah, it's a very track position dependent track, so I mean you got to take every 10th you can get here and there. But like I said earlier, cold tires, I don't know if they're going to bite that early.
Yeah, I think Casey actually got away with minimal damage, if any. He kind of slid sideways to avoid that and slid down to the inside of the track there.
Yeah, I think it looked a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah.
Most of the cars are just turning around, spinning around, trying to find position to get around that wreck, but not a lot of hard impact except for obviously the initial to the outside retaining wall.
What was that? I think the 89 barely gets clipped coming through there. One guy I think did get through. Oh, he started from the pits. He missed that altogether. Let's where is Chris Gore? Let's ride on board with him. I think he gets clipped about halfway through trying to miss Casey. Let's see if that was the right driver I was looking at here. He gets. No, he gets slowed down. Who's the truck? It's a white truck there. Oh, it's Burgess. Just a Burgess.
Yeah, he backed. He saw that one coming from a mile away, literally.
Unfortunately, wreck happens in front of him. He gets down the apron, but just barely gets clipped by the 29 and sent up the track and collects the 36 again, who goes around a second time. Yeah, but I'm with you. I don't think there's many trucks like severely damaged in this wreck. Just some minor damage for most of them. They'll get back out there and get back in contention. So,
yeah, from what I could see, everybody coming into pit road there was only some donuts on side of door panels and whatnot, but no severe cosmetic or aero damage. I'm sure, though, burning up tires on spins like that, or even trying to lock it down to avoid any sort of secondary, tertiary effects to the wreck. Yeah, maybe just fresh tires, lose a couple shoes, get back out there, reconvene, reconnect, and get back into the fight.
Yeah, I didn't really bring up the lap counter, but it is only 80 lap race here at Pocono, and that sounds short, but it's a long track. Our stage break at 15, of course, kind of a shorter stage as well. So hopefully they won't need those extra set of tires, but I guess we'll see as we go through the race whether or not they will.
Yeah, but you'd hate to lose a set of shoes on that one because, I mean, depending on where the setup is and where these guys are on track temp and tire wear, the looseness or tightness that they're feeling in the center of the corners, you would hope to kind of use the first set as kind of a gauge of what adjustments you do need to make based on the tire temperatures.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you didn't even have long enough to kind of know what adjustments you need, half a lap. All right.
Stacked, ready to go again.
Yeah, we're double file here on the Long Pond straightaway heading into turn 2. We're going to try this again. That first restart was wild, man. We ended up with 3 wide before we got to turn 1. Of course, I guess you kind of expect that here at Pocono. It's a big, wide straightaway going into turn 1. A long way from the start-finish line to turn 1 as well.
Yeah, I think those first 2 rows, what they're thinking about when they do that, I don't think it's in a sense of being malice. I think they're just trying to get clean air on the nose to help with the handling issues.
Gotta thank the guys at Wraptor Graphix for coming on tonight, sponsoring the race, Wraptor Graphix 200. Shout out to those guys, and we'll show you a little bit more about them a little bit later once we get past the stage. But love having some new blood, new guys out there sponsoring the series. We are 2 wide though. The pace car hits pit road. We're getting ready for a restart. Justin Gann leading Jonathan Atkins. Green flag flies at outside lane. Another great jump from the 3 of Gann, as Brett Gardner's going to try to capitalize as well and follow him through there.
Yeah, definitely got to watch Justin Gann here. He's going to get clear. And as we go through turn 1, he's going to have that clean air. And if we end up staying green here all the way to the end of the stage, he'll be in a good position. We'll get a wreck off of turn 1.
Got cars on the wall back here. Joseph Burgess once again. JC Evans involved. We got sitting sideways. Duranco sideways on the track. We didn't even make it to turn 2 this time. Boy, these guys are going to have to calm down a little bit. Alan Duranco.
Got halfway through my hot take before that happened.
Smoke from Alan Duranco. I think he's done for the night. Let's go back and look at a replay and see what happened here going off into turn 1. Alan Duranco was involved. A wiggle in front of him. Was that 50 of Garreau that wiggled? I think the 2 reacted up into JC Evans.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I think that's what I was. Let's go on board with the 2. I think that's where it kind of originated. With the 50 having an issue in front of him there.
The 2 lifts right when he gets to the bumper. You can see the fire kick out the pipe.
Yeah, but it just sends him up the track.
I think he just maybe just came in a little too hot, and the 50 was parked there.
It's tough. I know JC Evans got a piece of that again as well back there.
Oh, him 2 hits the outside retaining wall halfway through the corner.
Tries to sneak through there and just cannot get through. Right on board with Burgess, 60. All these guys back here because of that first wreck, and this is the way the things kind of multiply. You put yourself in a bad position from the first lap incident, and now you're just back here hoping that things go. Actually, Burgess did a great job of just coming to a stop. He avoided any damage. That was really good.
It's the snowball effect, Brody.
Yeah.
Once the dominoes start falling, it starts to hurt more and more.
Unfortunately, Donnie Batiste is the one that got tapped by the 2, not JC Evans. Just
some of the second or third impacts are pretty hard, harder than the actual initial wreck. I will say, based on where that actual wreck occurred, a lot of the guys in the back, kudos to them for getting that back down and, you know, avoiding any sort of secondary effects to that wreck.
Yeah, for sure. Well, early on, we've had some calamity. We've had some carnage, I guess I should say.
We've had an accident in 1. We've had an accident in 2. We'll see how turn 3 plays out for the rest of the race.
And we've yet to make it to turn 3 on a restart under green. So
yeah.
And it's just clicking laps off too, Brian, of the stage. You know, again, 15 laps, short stage. We're already on lap 7. And we've done a combined probably 3/4 of a lap under green.
Yeah, this probably doesn't help anybody when they're trying to see how their car is doing in traffic. And we saw this in practice. You had groups of like 6 to 8 drivers kind of running around each other to see what the air does to the nose, whether it's getting tight on entry, tight off exit, tight in center, whatever. You know, they're making those adjustments in practice to try and simulate what we're going to see in the race. But with a lot of this, you know, laps under caution here, with as many cars that we have on the track, they're not able to make any mid-stride adjustments. So we're going to end up finishing the stage 1 without probably any adjustments in that regard.
Now, you've been in this truck a lot more recent than I have. You were racing a couple of weeks ago here in the truck, so you know more than I do. So I'm going to ask this question.
Yeah.
If we don't get many green flag laps, like I said, we've only run less than a lap, I think, under green. Is the option there to maybe stay out at lap 15, get some track position for some of the guys that are back there, especially, I guess, some of the guys that were involved in that first track? Get your car fixed, get some tires early on. Could you see them flip to the front after the stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, we said this early in the broadcast is, you know, it's a track position dependent track. If I'm in the back, and obviously I probably put myself there at the beginning of the race, I could flip the stage and hopefully get lucky here following stage 1 and to be like, hey, I'm going to make some adjustments here to try and extend my green flag run. It's going to end up becoming a green flag run type of race, but right now it's all short, which benefits the 3 of Justin Gann, who has a short run car.
I just wonder if this is going to be a tire limited or a fuel limited kind of race, you know, because I know you're going to have to stop for fuel, but are tires going to fall off enough, especially with all these cautions early on? Are the tires going to fall off enough to where you want to pit for tires, or are you pitting as early as you can to get fuel to make it the rest of the way? Because this track being so big, this is one of the tracks you can actually pit early, not go a lap down, and if a caution comes out, you are in good position.
Yeah, so the distance is going to dictate the fuel, right? So if I need enough laps to finish the race, this is where I need to pit. But you're not going to make any position gain or loss if you don't have the right handling. So the adjustments here are going to be really key.
Very cool, very cool. All right, the pace car's going to peel off. We're going to try this again for the third time. Third time's a charm, right, Brian? I hope so. Just again.
I'll flip a coin.
Yeah, just again leading. Green flag flies, and we're off to turn one once again.
Another great restart by the 3 here. Justin Atkins falls in line with him. There's no contest here in the turn 1. No fanning out, no 3 wide into 1. We'll see how this works out off the 2.
They've been a lot more organized after that initial start, going into 2 wide versus 3 wide.
I think that's with the words of encouragement from our leader, Tony Soler.
I would hope. Well, it's all good, but the wreck didn't happen up front, so these guys... Oh, you see Jonathan Atkins so loose going into the tunnel turn.
Yeah.
He got dead sideways there on entry.
Some guys tested out that 3rd seam in turn 2, and they found out real quick that that wasn't going to work out. You could see the fire kick out some of the pipes here in the middle of the pack.
Doing a good job to hold on. Here comes Nicholas Moreau, all the way almost on the rumble strips there through
Yeah,
turn
I saw
3.
that. Can't imagine that that's going to be a lot of grip down there.
So Atkins, Moreau, Chapman, and Gardner all chasing Justin
Got a couple
Gann
3
here.
wide here.
Oh, we do have.
Hopefully they work this out.
Hey, we made a lap. I don't want to jinx it. Let's hang on.
It's interesting, though, watching some of the rear shots on some of these trucks here. A lot of guys are tight. And it's really interesting to be this tight early in the race. And guys are having to kick out on the accelerator 3/4 of the way through the turn. I can't imagine that that's going to be good for tire wear and time-wise. That's interesting to me. Guys were real dialed in practice.
Yeah, and, it's a little overcast here, so it's going to change the handling a little bit for some of these guys back here, especially in the back of the pack with the aero through a turn like turn 3 that's so flat. You don't think of aero that much, but as fast as you're going, all these corners kind of matter when it comes to aero. We got to battle for the lead though. Jonathan Atkins looking to the inside.
Yeah, with track temp being at 83 degrees, these guys got to be running a little bit looser than that to optimize the lap time.
All right, now it's side by side for second. Ryan Chapman trying to capitalize on Jonathan Atkins going for that lead. He's going to take over second right on the back bumper of the 30 and enter the corner. Here comes the 15 of Moreau looking to the inside of Jonathan Atkins, and he's going to get that.
That blue 32 truck there made a really aggressive shot into 2, and he took 3 cars on that turn, and he is moving.
It's Darren Clement in the number 32. Outside of him is Colton Gum. Oh, Gum in the wall, I think, off the corner. Everybody scatters.
Tight. Real tight. That arrow pushes on the nose and sends you right up to the wall. You got to back the corners up on entry.
Nicholas Moreau going for second. Now going for the lead. All the way to the bottom. Beside the 17, now beside the 30. Moreau on a charge here. Trying to get to the front. Will he get trapped down there like the 1, though? Although the 1's trying to give him a push down the straightaway.
Yeah, Nicholas had to burp the throttle off exit there to stay off of Justin Gann, but he obviously maintains dispersion here. And they're neck and neck off of 2. Moreau's going to benefit from exit.
The 1 inside of the 17, they make that work, though. A little bit of contact on entry of turn 2 between the 2 of them. Yeah, here comes Nicholas Moreau fighting on that bottom. Good side-by-side racing from these guys, and I expect no less. This is the 3rd week in a row we've seen these guys battling for the lead. Here goes 3 wide. Ryan Chapman jumping to the inside, trying to make it 3, now 2 wide as Nicholas Moreau falls back in line.
Yeah, put Ryan Chapman's name in the hat here. He's mixing things up with Justin and Nick. But Brody, you got to watch that 32 blue truck. He's coming.
Oh, touch the wall off the corner there. Right on board with Darren Clement in the 32. It's the 72 of Jack Ritchie right in front of him. Has to back out of it there.
Atkins is shoving Moreau into 2.
Here comes, and now he's going to look to the inside of Moreau, going for second.
Make him overstep acceleration points and braking points into 2. Make him lift and then duck out as soon as you get off exit. Hold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, the thing is, on this front stretch, if you're lined up on the outside, this is a very long straightaway, and you get a really good draft. But you see Justin Gann actually moving down, giving the 1 a little bit of draft, trying to kind of balance things out. All that did was open the top side for the 15 in Moreau.
That's all something different there on Justin Gann's entry. He was extremely shallow there. He coasted through the center of the corner, and then obviously off the exit, he was way too tight and had to lift. Moreau cut him a big break there.
And 17 going to retake second spot there. Battle for third. Brett Gardner joins the party here to the inside that 00. Won that points lead back. He led the points there for a little while. Had to miss a race and kind of fell in the standings, but looking strong here tonight.
72, Jack Ritchie has been the fastest truck the last 3 laps, and he's entering the P4 position now off the seat corner there. He is faster than the leaders as we speak.
A little bit of moving there on the front. So Jonathan Atkins moving down to try to cover the position in one, but that's not going to work. Clark Gennikin going to look to the inside, the 27. I tell you what, this is the cream of the crop up front. You see why these guys are racing hard.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Atkins be able to recollect after some, poor entries and poor exits, and he's fighting off that P6 position. Justin Gann, that's shocking to me that he's in the P4 right now, battling too wide off of 2.
And he's stuck on that bottom. I was talking about that. You kind of get stuck on the bottom. You get this track here, you'll get freight trained on the outside in a heartbeat, just because the straightaways are so long. You got the guys lined up against the wall on the straightaway, and if you're on the inside, you don't have that draft.
Atkins in the wall off of 3. They collect it. They're 3 wide at the line. Caution's out.
And that is our stage break. Snuck up on me. That is our stage. Ryan Chapman getting that done at the last moment. He's going to pull off the lead here and get this stage win, the 17. 15, Nicholas Bro going to follow him in second. Jack Ritchie in third. Brett Gardner, Justin Gann, your top 5.
Yeah, the most impressive truck that I saw during that run, it started off kind of with the 32 of Darren Clement, and then that immediately flipped when the 72 of Jack Ritchie got around Darren, and those guys up in the top 3, you can pretty much put a blanket over them, and Jack just drove straight up into the P3 spot. What an impressive run he had going into the stage break.
I kind of wonder if maybe some of those guys up front, I know it was a kind of a short run, but tires fall off quick here, and I kind of wonder if they kind of burn their stuff up racing up front. I say that, although Ryan Chapman and Nicholas Moreau were some of the guys that seemed to be pushing the whole time.
Yeah, I would love to be a fly on the wall in those Discord chats to see what exactly they're feeling right now. I, too, agree. I bet that they probably found the limit of what they were able to push, and when they come down pit road next time by, they're going to have to make some adjustments there to deal with a lot of that side-by-side racing we saw at the front row.
Yeah, there probably is going to be a lot of adjustments about the second half of the top 10 here that they found that maybe they're a little too tight or a little too loose, and make a few adjustments and try to stay with it, keep with it all the way through the run. Because I agree with you, Jack Ritchie, Brett Gardner, those are 2 teammates right there, and they seem to have their trucks hooked up for I'd say a longer run. we had what, about 7 laps of racing there once we got going there, but over 7 laps they looked really strong, and they were the ones going the right direction. Some of the guys not going the right direction would be Justin Gann, who started up front, but he didn't really go that far. I think he just got shuffled out of line.
Yeah, but if you're Jack and Brett, you want to see a lot of that side-by-side racing in front of you, because you could save your stuff, and then when you strike big, and then obviously they scored the positions that they did based on that patience, because who are the next 2 trucks behind them? The guys that we've been talking about at the beginning of the race, Justin Gann and Jonathan Atkins.
Yep, and they're going to be in the fight, I think, all night unless something spectacular happens. They're going to be ones to watch. The whole top 10 is full of trucks. There are some guys back there outside of the top 10 that could surprise us and get up in that fight tonight too. So we shall see.
I'd be curious to see if we see any 2-tire stops here.
I will keep an eye on that. As they come to pit road, everybody's going to follow Ryan Chapman in. We'll see if any of those guys in the back decide to stay out as well. But we did have kind of a 7-lap run there. It might have negated some of that strategy call.
I don't know. Flip a coin. Might as well stay out. See what you got.
All right, they come down pit road for their service. We'll see who comes out first. Nicholas Moreau with the best pit position. Looking to make up a few spots as he sits on pit road.
He's taking 4 here. Chapman across the line first. Moreau up to 2.
Yep, Ryan Chapman going to come off pit road as the leader. Nicholas Moreau, Jack Ritchie, Brett Gardner, Justin Gann, your top 5.
Pit road was busy.
All right, well, now that pit stops are complete, we're going to throw it to a quick side-by-side commercial break with our new sponsor, Wraptor Graphix. We're going to take a look and see what they have to offer here for your decaling needs.
For years, business vehicles have roamed the streets. Plain, invisible, forgotten. But something new has arrived. A predator of branding. A truck that doesn't just drive, it hunts for attention. Introducing Wraptor Graphix. Corporate and fleet wraps designed to turn vehicles into unstoppable moving billboards. Bold designs, precision installation, branding that dominates the road. Seen by thousands of people every week. Dallas, Georgia, serving all of Paulding County. Wraptor Graphix. Evolve your brand. Visit wraptorgraphix.com.
And again, we want to thank Wraptor Graphix for sponsoring tonight's race, the Wraptor Graphix 200 here at Pocono Raceway. Looking at some of their drivers, just kind of going through the field. Michael Thwaites currently sits in that, 13th position, or I think 14th position. That Wraptor Graphix machine, the orange one, looking pretty good there.
You know, something that happened during the commercial break that probably we should touch on here. Ryan Chapman chose the outside row 1. I think this is interesting, and I wanted to mention this, Brody, because guys historically in the last couple of restarts have started on the bottom. I think everybody's sticking to what you were saying with that second seam entry, what we saw in turn 2 and turn 3. I think Chapman here found something, and that's what he's going to bank on here starting on the outside row of this restart.
All right, so it should be fun to watch those guys battle up front. We'll touch base with our drivers, our Wraptor Graphix drivers, a little bit later and see if they can work their way up into the top 10, be in contention here at Pocono Raceway. No, an important race for those guys. Anytime you're sponsoring the race, and Brian, you know this because you were actually a sponsor of the post race. You were on the sponsor for the post race show on Monday night.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to bend it or step on it when you're one of your sponsors is, you know, taking a premier spot on this on the Full Throttle TV. So yeah, a little bit more anxious, a little bit more anxiety. You obviously want to show up and you want to show out, but you know, you obviously don't want to bend it either. So if you show up, keep the fenders on it, keep all 4 tires on it, you'll be fine.
I think they both were able to miss the calamity that happened in the first couple laps, so that's a good thing too moving forward. And we'll see how far they can go. Ryan Chapman, like you said, chose the outside. Nicholas Moreau on the inside. Green flag flies. We are restarting here with 61 laps remaining.
Justin Gann did not get a good restart there on the inside row 3, and he's going to jam up the bottom line. They're 3 wide on row 4.
3 wide back here. So those guys making moves. It's on the top side. Stephen Hassett on the bottom.
Clean off of exit of 2, a couple 3 wide down back.
Justin Gann getting a push from Ty Lounsbury there down the backstretch on the inside line. He's a winner 2. First side-by-side battle. Everybody else is kind of single filed up front. We are 3 wide off turn 2 though.
Yep, that's not going to work out, especially on cold tires here. You got to be smart. Stay in that second seam, just ride through the corner, and recompose yourself, get the track position, and then start attacking.
They get back 2 wide. I think it's teammates too, the 23 and the 93, or sorry, 91.
They're 3 wide at the line here.
Battle going off from the turn 1. Who's that on the inside?
They figured out the real estate. It was the 95. It was in the middle there. Wraptor Graphix car.
It's
a good looking car too.
He's rocking the gray. The gray. Is that purple in the back? Gray and purple. Interesting. I like it.
More of like a hot pink kind of driver. So.
Michael Thwaites, though, another of the Wraptor Graphix cars we were highlighting. He's working his way up into the top 10 almost. He's right outside the top 10 in 11th, but going, trying to get some more of these positions. He's the one in the orange Wraptor Graphix car. And I like that one, too.
Nicholas Moreau got to Chapman's bumper there, but he decided to lift and stay in line with him.
Nicholas is one of those guys, man. He is patient. He is. There's a reason why he's won so many races. He's patient. He knows that the paychecks don't fly until you reach lap 80 tonight. So he'll take his time, work him over, kind of find some weak spots, and you'll see him pounce when the time is right.
Yeah, I think that's important that you mentioned that. You've got to see the checkered flag, in order to actually have a position in this race.
On board Moreau. Gets a little tight behind Chapman.
Tight.
So they're going to open the door for Jonathan Atkins. He's going to try to get a run here. Is he going to look out or give him a push?
It was weird. It was weird. He was like in the center of the apex in the second seam right there, and then it just took off to the wall. There he is. He's inside of Chapman, inside of one.
There's Nicholas Moreau trying to make that pass. Got a push from Atkins down the front stretch. Position. Now he's on the inside. Is he going to get freight train? I think Atkins set him up. He's going to look to the outside and take that position.
This is the second time Atkins during the race has pushed Nicholas Moreau into the corner, forced Nick to actually lift, and then Atkins capitalizes off the exit here.
You know, Atkins has got a fast truck, at least early on here. He really pulls up really nice. Looks like it drafts really well. It drafts up to the back of the trucks really well. Or either that or he's getting a really good exit.
Now, Moreau was thinking it there on entry. He was like, I just get Atkins back here by pushing him in the corner just like he's been doing to me several times. But he decided to lift and fall in line.
A little bit of a wiggle out of the 15 there. Meanwhile, fourth place. We're going to see a battle between teammates. No, they're going to line up. And that's smart. Line up, kind of push your way back up towards those top three, or kind of gapped them just a little bit. Here comes Atkins, the inside for the lead.
Yeah, that's interesting. Ryan has not had the best race start. I don't know if his car is tight or what's going on here, but he keeps opening up that bottom seam in turn one and leaving room for these guys to take advantage of. And, you know, I'd hate to see that, losing that clean air advantage, but, you know, I don't know if he's fighting some tightness or what's going on, but he's not as fast as we saw him at the end of that stage.
We had a F1 style change of position for fourth spot. I think they decided to switch positions. Brett lifted, Jack got position on him. He let him go there, and they're going to try to line up and go forward here.
Yeah, I think the team principal came on the radio and told him to switch.
Well, the team principal, I think, is in that number 72 truck, so it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, so he has a draconian authoritarian leadership over this relationship?
Oh, we got another battle for the lead. Jonathan's going to try it again to the inside.
Yeah, but Ryan is so good in that second seam. I hate to see that out of him because he's opening up that bottom. One of these laps, these guys on the bottom are going to get tight, and they're going to run him up the track. He's got to protect the bottom here.
Nick trying to give the one a shot there. Got a battle back here for seventh spot, 6th and 7th. Clark Ginnikin, Stephen Hassett side by side.
They're too wide off of 3 for 7th.
I was watching the line. Some of these guys are running through 3, and they vary quite a bit. There's a little bit different approaches being taken there through turn 3.
Higgins looks loose off the center of the corner in 1, but somehow collects it. The back end of his truck was actually sideways.
His trucks look loose all night. He, like I said, he was getting loose in turn 2 here on entry. But, I mean, they say loose is fast. I've never been a fan of a loose car or truck.
He almost lost it off of 2 right there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, Atkins is really good. And, you know, last time we were here at Pocono on the trucks, I mean, he obviously dominated. He's such a good driver, very talented. He understands this track better than a lot of people do. And I've seen him come from the back to the front multiple times in this series alone. So, you know, It's funny, we never mentioned him in the pre-race, kind of purviews and highlights. He's obviously here putting lap after lap, putting the pressure on Chapman.
Doing a good job there. Gets a good run off the corner. I think he's decided to change his approach and maybe get a run down this long pond straight away and try to pass him into 2. Possibly. He's looking. Doesn't have a run, though.
Yeah, he might be setting them up. He's probably gauging that. Moreau's in the inside of 1 here. Maybe he misjudged it. But yeah, to your point, to reinforce that, I mean, in turn 1, it looked like maybe he was just too loose on that bottom. It's like, okay, well, 2 seems to be the best option here, and he obviously left the window open, and Nicholas Moreau capitalizes.
Yeah, now Jonathan going to push Moreau again. We've seen this movie.
Yep. This is a sequel.
There they go to the inside. Moreau trying to look to the inside of Chapman.
And Moreau definitely saw that strategy coming. He shook the 1, tried to stay as close as he can to the 17, and then falls right in line.
So tough to pass here. I know it seems like it'd be easy. There's plenty of track, but the momentum on the top side, especially off turn 1, seems to be where you want to be.
Yeah, keep an eye on the 72. He's closed in with the 15 and the 1s, back and forth swapping. His teammate Brett right behind him.
Right on board with the 72, and there he goes. He closes right on the back bumper of this guy's. Gets a little arrow push there, I think, a little bit. But he is close enough. He's going to get that draft down the straightaway, and they're going to be together here very shortly. Got a bunch of chatters out there in chat. I know Richie Coy is on vacation. He's out there chatting with some of these guys.
Yeah, I saw that. He gave a nice little shout out, a little positive review. Don't worry, Richie, I'm not going to take your position.
I don't know. Big Kenneth Forster out there. Watching along. Diane Chapman cheering on our leader right now, the 17 of Chapman. That's his mom, Diane. So thanks for watching along. Showing some support out there for our leader. Doing well so far. And I know some of the branded guys are watching as well. They're going to be happy about their sponsor being out front.
Line choice by Atkins there. He's up into the 3rd seam off of 3. Last 5 lap average, Jack Ritchie's been the fastest truck on the track.
We got guys out there cheering on the Barbecue Motorsports crew. That is the 72 and the 00 back there. You were talking about it. They are closing in. And of course, Justin Ganson back there as well. He's fallen a little bit after pit stops. He's fallen even farther back. He's right now in 6th spot, had to battle his way back forwards, but I feel like he's going to be a contender before the end of this one.
Yeah, you got to probably admit that Justin's here riding and watching what the top 5 do. I mean, he's been slowly closing lap after lap. But like I said, I don't think it's way too early in this run to be trying to gain a 10th here and a 10th there. As we see, Jonathan Atkins go on the inside of Nicholas Moreau for P2.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side. And Ryan Chapman's going to love seeing that in his mirror, although the one's going to duck back inside behind the 15.
We talk about F1. Ryan Chapman's doing the little F1 swing on the line to keep the air broken up behind him.
I saw that.
Keep those guys as far. Yeah, keep a little flare.
Little snake down the straightaway there to kind of break the draft.
Talk about Gan. Gan's closed up to the P5 spot. He's right there. Got a little tight off of 3 or 2, 1.
Just a walk, just a look. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, dude, Pocono is the worst when it comes to spotting.
Yes.
I usually get on here and spot for everybody because they need it, especially like people like Nick Alford. And he's like, dude, get your turns right, man. Like, seriously.
Reckon 2. Well, actually, that's 1. Hold on. Yeah, it's odd because I like to call this exit of turn 4, but it's the exit of turn 3. Like they say.
You've seen it when we switched at Phoenix. I was like,
oh yeah, that threw me off too. That was. I still struggle with that from time to time.
This 8th place pack back here, they're diving and bombing each other. They're 3 wide going into 1.
We got a battle for the lead too. So how are we going to watch all this? I don't know. We're going to bounce around here. We can see what these guys. 32 dives in there sideways off the corner. It's going lose some momentum there. It's going to let Kyle Lounsbury get by Austin Demore, too. He's going to try to fall back in line. They are racing hard here. Stephen Hassett. Yep. Oh, on the outside of Austin Demore. A little contact there.
Real tight. He's going to lose a lot of positions here. Everybody's going to freight train him. There's a 46, pushes the 37 into 3. Oh, they're tight.
Oh, big wreck. Stephen Hassett in the wall hard after contact with Simon Maggan. We were watching it, and it unfolded right before our eyes. Unfortunately, that's going to be the end of Stephen Hassett's night. Big contact.
He's going to have to tow. That was a hard hit, at least 90 degrees into the wall.
And we saw, like you said, you pointed it out. They were going at it hot and heavy, and finally it was just too much.
Yeah, my tension radar was going off when I saw them going 2-3 wide into 3. I'm like, that's not normal at Pocono.
Let's get back and live our best one. Tired all the curious replay. We saw it live. Let's see, going into the corner. Oh, Hassett actually gets turned into the 46. Yeah. There was contact from, who was that? Was that Michael Thwaites, I believe? One of our Wraptor Graphix cars. Let's look at it going into the corner here. 3 wide into the corner. Thwaites up the track just a little bit, but he was 3 wide there. Had it go on the inside. Just very, very close quarters racing.
Yeah, the 91 really didn't have anywhere to go off the 2. I mean, he's obviously getting freight trained from, being in that 3rd seam. But, when their turn 3 is so narrow, you can miss the corner easily. And we obviously saw that with the middle car and 3 wide into 3. I don't think that equation's ever going to really work out. I think we're lucky that we caught that.
I know. We were looking right at it when it happened. Yeah, 3 into. I'll say 3 into 1, but it's 3 into turn 3. I don't know how you want to say that.
Might as well call it turn 4.
It just does not work out. Let's see if we can get it.
I'm probably going to hear it on the Fine Line of Whiskey podcast this week about how I can't get my turns correct. It's like you're turning left. How can you not get it correct? Well, you try sitting up here and do this.
Listen, it's tough. All these different tracks, like you said, Phoenix is a tough one for me. This one is a tough one, just because there's no point in time where you say anything about turn 4.
Nowhere in my contract does it say that I have to do a road course, because you might as well just count me out.
Those are tough. I'm glad you bring that up. Those are tough for me too, because I'm like,
Coda. Where are we at in Coda? We're on turn 32 and a half.
Yeah.
It's such a hard track too.
Well, we just had pit stops. We had a change for the lead on pit road as well. Nicholas Moreau able to jump Ryan Chapman. He's going to take over the lead here. Jonathan Atkins 3rd. Jack Ritchie, Justin Dan top 5.
Yeah, just crossing the line at 34 laps complete with 46 to go here. Good stop by Moreau, but we kind of already saw this one coming. I think Chapman probably made some adjustments there in that last pit cycle, maybe to kind of free up on entry, because you shouldn't be that tight with clean air unless he was conserving on his entry points.
I want to go and look and see about fuel mileage for the trucks. I got a cheat sheet here. I'm going to try to find, unless you know it right off the top of your head.
I have to look.
Pocono, I got 35.3 as the estimated fuel.
So hypothetically, we can make it here.
Well, there's 47 to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong dial. Again, can't get my turns right, can't get my dials right.
You took 34 laps. Yeah, boy, that would be interesting if it was 34 to go. Yeah, 47. So we still need another pit stop. So we're going to line up and get ready for a restart here. Quickly want to go through.
Go ahead.
I just want to go through once again and highlight our driver spotlight, our Wraptor Graphix driver spotlights. This is the the 99 of Michael Thwaites. He is in 10th spot, so he has cracked the top 10. Going the right direction so far tonight, up 12 spots from where he started. So some big gains for him. He missed those accidents early on and is moving forward. And you could say the same thing about the 95 back here, Ted Pullen, who's up 17 spots from where he started. He's also missed those accidents early on, kind of rebounded and going for. Actually, I think he was partially involved in one of them, but minor damage, got it fixed, and going back the right direction now.
Yeah, he's unimpeded here. We'll see how he does. But here's a common trend, Brody. The last 3 restarts, we've seen the leader choose the outside row compared to Justin's trend of starting on the inside row.
Yeah, well, that's just gonna. I think it depends on who's starting behind you too. Not that I think Nicholas has made that determination here, but I think it does. If you have a teammate start behind you, you may want to start up there on the outside road where he's behind you, and get that good launch and get that draft down into turn 1. I think that outside lane in 1 is working really well for the guys. We saw the 17 of Chapman able to hang on to the lead using it, so I think it's kind of where you want to be until they wash up and get into you. Then you were like, I probably should have been on the bottom.
Yeah, but we're on fresh tires here. That shouldn't be happening.
All right, we're going to get the green here. Pace car peels off. It's going to be 45 laps remaining as they take the green flag. Nicholas Moreau, Ryan Chapman, your leaders.
Good launch by the 15. Chapman clears, settles in line with him. Watch Atkins here to see what he does.
Side by side of the 1 with Atkins in the 1 truck. 72 of Jack Ritchie in the 72.
Dan is tied off the 2.
Just tight racing off the corner there. I think everybody makes it though. I think we're 3 wide again back there in about 15th or 12th.
They're tight in the tunnel turn here. People all using up all the way to the wall here in the 3rd tier.
Yeah, so a lot of track being used there up front. There's still Nicholas Moreau. You see Atkins again using that high lane. There used to be a grip strip up there. You remember when they paved that 1 strip of track in turn 3? You saw all the drivers actually up there in it.
Well, so we're crossing 37 laps on the race here, almost halfway. You'd have to admit that there's probably some rubber up there now, that guys have been running that 2nd, 3rd seam up there, so maybe Atkins found some grip.
Yeah, it's working so far for him, for sure. You see the
Gann is in the wall.
Is that Gann? Yeah.
Yeah, he's tied off of 1, 4, turn 5, turn 6, whatever turn number that is now.
Let's see, this track is just so different because you got turn 1, and that's all of turn 1. Usually in a corner like that, there's turn 1 and 2. You split up in half.
Yeah, but like turn 1 at Pocono is like the entire turn of Martinsville.
So some of the guys actually say you have turn 1 and 2, which is what we call turn 1. Turn 3 is the tunnel turn, and then 4 and 5. So you actually have 5 turns here at Pocono.
Yeah, that's going to be the dilemma for today's broadcast is how many turns does it take to get around Pocono?
Would be a good topic for a certain podcast, I believe, too.
Fine Line and Whiskey Podcast. Check it out on your Apple and Spotify platforms. Listen to me and Nick every week. Attempt to try and pretend like we understand NASCAR or turning left.
It has been a lot of fun. Listen to you guys. The toaster episode. That was the first one I listened to. That's pretty good.
Toaster bad. Yeah. Alfred has really bad luck when it comes to picking fantasy picks. As we see Atkins getting to the wall in the tunnel turn.
He did smack the wall there off too. That was a pretty good hit too.
It was. They're 3 wide in turn 3.
Oh, we got a
halfway
spinner
through the middle. Yeah,
off the
I
corner.
saw that one coming.
Ted pulling around. Caution flies. He's one of the Wraptor Graphix trucks. Unfortunately, he goes around off turn. Ooh, I almost did it.
All right, yeah, almost 6, turn 6.
Yeah. Off turn 3, I guess. All right, we'll call it that. Let's go back and look at our best.
That one.
Yeah, I didn't. Let's go back in our best one tire and experience the replay and see what happened here. Coming up, they were 3 wide coming off the corner. Ooh, it looks like Ted maybe just got a little loose on exit. Got down to the 0-0.
Yeah, you hate to see that. They were running pretty clean, side by side, 3 wide into 3.
Ted pulling here, coming off the corner. He just gets a little loose, but I don't know if that's. I need to go
There
back
was a
and
lot
look
of
at it.
dispersion between the cars. Maybe he just didn't expect the car to below him to pinch up that high.
He did kind of come down the track when he got loose there, and I think the car below just thought he was going to be a little bit higher, and I think he planned on being a little higher too. I think he just got loose, and it kind of put him in that position.
Yeah, the 95 had like a small margin of looseness because he was definitely following the car in front of him, and obviously, the Dodge ran below him. He's there.
Who was that red car that barely missed him there?
That's going to be Joshua O'Connor
Okay,
in the 59 car.
I wanted to ride on board with him through this.
Yeah,
Should be
that's a handful there.
like a good neighbor. State Farm is right there. Run the State
Yeah, that
Farm
was
colors. That's pretty good.
great heads up by Josh.
All right, well, we had just a few takers at the back, but I think they may have been fixing damage or.
No, I totally get why you just said State Farm because that's his primary sponsor. I
Right.
didn't even notice that.
Right, yeah, I was playing into that a little bit.
Yeah, that was great. I like that. I have to put that one in my back pocket for the podcast.
Well, it's been an interesting one, and we are right here halfway. 40 laps. This is lap 40 actually. We complete halfway right here, and we still are not within the pit window. Although
Chapman's bidding. Nope.
Nope.
He's trying to get a couple takers to go with him and drop a set.
You got a few back there. Clark Gannican, Victor Pfluger come to pit road. Joshua O'Connor coming for a change of pants, I bet. Marshall Johnson right there. Jack Stevens going to come in as well. So again, not in the pit window yet, but maybe these guys thinking of going a little longer and hoping.
What did we say pit window was? 35?
What did I say?
35 out?
Something. It's 35.8, I think. So
Your best,
yeah,
guess,
right at 35.
your best guess is probably 33, 34 just to have that cushion.
Right. Although I've seen some of these guys stretch it longer than I ever expected them to, so I don't know.
Yeah, but if you got Jonathan Atkins breathing down your neck, you're probably not going to be able to clutch too much. He was wheeling it for sure. We talked about the podcast earlier, Fine Line and Whiskey, right? Not just yourself, but we got to get Richie on the show. And I think having your perspective on things, especially with what you guys are doing here at Full Throttle Sim Racing, is, obviously the entrepreneur guy, the principal of the series, right? But a competitor like Richie, him being not only your co-admin in the sport, but having Richie in as a driver, as competitive and successful he's been, that's somebody we're eyeballing right now to have him, join the iRacing Showcase segment, or even just as a special guest.
Yeah, I think Richie's background in racing too. He's got a little bit of a racing background too. He's probably got some interesting stories to share too. I know it's use a podcast like that is a great way to kind of get some information or details or some history out there that some guys just don't know. That's always kind of fun to listen to and see what with you guys. You always kind of where you end up. You guys have those personal stories that end up bobbing and weaving through some details that other people just don't know about you guys in general. On top of the highlights you guys do for the NASCAR stuff, it's also kind of cool to hear some of the personal stories and things going on, like with Nick and having his child there, and stuff like that. Just the personal stories are kind of fun to listen to in that as well. So you kind of get both in the podcast, which I think you guys do really good as far as bouncing out back between.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're trying to do the iRacing Showcase segment, is to bring color to the people that are driving these machines, right? Like, nobody knows anything about Nicholas Moreau or Ryan Chapman or Jonathan Atkins or Justin Gann. And I think by doing that, we're bringing a platform to these guys. One, just so people can learn a little bit more about them, so we can tune in each and every week here at Full Throttle TV just to see how these guys are doing. And, you know, they talk about this stuff in the Cup Series is a lot of drivers don't have color to them. They don't have emotion. They don't have character. Well, how do you assimilate with a brand if you don't even know what you're purchasing?
I know.
And that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah, I know. It's always better in League 2 to kind of get to know your competitors and know what they're, you know, what they're about, their backstory and stuff like that. It makes it more personal, makes it more fun, to be honest with you, because, you know, it's not just another number out there like it is in officials. League racing is a little bit different for that reason.
Yeah,
and
like nobody knows how much of a troll Nick Alford is until you actually pay attention to him, as we see the pace car here pull off as we get ready to go green.
All right. You're right.
I threw that in there because he's trolling me in the YouTube chat right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Green flag flies, though. Nicholas Moreau with a great start. Ryan Chapman going to drop in line. Jonathan Atkins, Jack Ritchie, they all get single file pretty quick here.
Yeah, he's allegedly saying that I apparently don't think you're a competitor, even though we've raced ARCA together several times.
Huh. Ooh, tied off turn one there.
We're single file all the way back to ninth. Gotta think here, everybody's just going to be conservative.
They're packed tight, too. Here comes Austin Moore, I think, to the inside of Jack Ritchie. And, you know, you talk about personalities and stuff, too. We get it in short bursts. We get to interview the top three at the end of these races, maybe do an in-race interview every now and then. We don't get the long answers you guys are going to be able to get in a podcast. So that's always kind of cool to kind of hear the stories in a more relaxed sense. You know, everybody's kind of jacked up when they're out there racing or after the race.
Yeah.
That's a little different atmosphere.
Yeah, what you're looking at right now is pure emotion and competition, right? And these guys are...
Sorry.
These guys are... Yeah, that's all that.
Close between Ryan Chapman and Nicholas Moreau. I thought we were going to have contact here.
Yeah, he stayed off of him. But yeah, to that point, it's like we're seeing this raw emotion. We're seeing the symphony play out right in front of us. But I'd like to hear what these guys think outside of this, you know, atmospherics or environment, right? Because when you're behind the wheel, it's... If you're not first, you're last. And you could throw a blanket over the first 5 cars that we're looking at here in this race. But, you know, I want to learn more about some of these guys. And I think that's what we're trying to do. Man, Chapman got really loose.
He got loose, but he got the lead as well. So he's out front. Ryan Chapman to the point once again. Now the battle for second between the 1 of Jonathan Atkins and the 15 of Nicholas Moreau.
Moreau lifted late there in the second scene. He's trying to make a charge as he clears the 1.
Good racing up front. It's been exciting up front the whole time, man. These guys are willing to kind of put it out there.
Yeah, a lot of attrition's been happening in the middle of the pack here, but this is our race right now. First probably 6 or 7 cars are probably who we're watching for the win here. And I say that the 12 of Austin Demore is made significant gain right now as he's in the inside of Jack Ritchie. They're all in the same tire strategy here, but he's been the biggest mover in the last 3 laps.
He's getting a freight train right now. Ty Lounsbury goes around him in the 23. Trying to get up there into contention as well.
Somebody in the wall off of 1. They recovered. They were up there, though. They were in the 4th seam in turn 22.
Ty Lounsbury in the 23. I think he's the highest running Vice Esports truck out there. They went to victory lane last night in the Vanlilys sticker series at Talladega. I'm looking to go back to back with this 23, going the right directions. He has gained 6 positions from his 12th starting spot up in the 6th spot.
Atkins is desperately trying to get inside the 15 here, but he doesn't close. Falls back in line P3 as we cross the line. Lap 47 with 34 to go.
Everybody choosing kind of a different seat right here for 5th, 6th, and 7th. A different line through there, trying to keep that clean air on the nose. Got Jack Ritchie right there behind Justin Gann. Todd Lansbury right behind him. Austin DeMore, you were talking about him. And Chris Husky is joining the party up in 8th spot. But what about Michael Thwaites?
Yeah, we're seeing some new faces and some new names up here that are adding their name to the list of people that have a possibility of winning this race.
Tony Solari cracks the top 10 too.
Oh, Boss Man. Boss Man's in the fold.
I haven't been able to say that in a while. No, just kidding.
No, he's doing great.
Yep.
Running clean.
Well, he's
Being
gained
measurable here.
20 positions. I guess he didn't qualify. But 20 positions, starting in 30th.
Yeah, but still, this is not the kind of track that you want to start deep into the field. That 23 faded. 12 still prevalent. He's right on Jack Ritchie's bumper.
Still a long way to go, though. 33 laps around this track is a long way. And we still have a pit stop, too, so I'm sure all these guys hopefully are thinking that and trying to figure out the best way to get to that, the conclusion there. Nicholas Moreau, though, looking to the inside.
Here we go.
Brian Chapman.
Patience is a virtue. Moreau's there. Chapman very conservative in that second tier. He's going to hold him to the bottom. 15 moves up just a tight bit. 17's tight.
17 in the wall just a little bit.
He clears him, though.
He does. Keeps it momentum up. Going to give him a shove down the backstretch.
Atkins, though. Going to get in the Moreau shuffle here.
Atkins in the wall.
That's what I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that the Moreau shuffle, where he just shoves him in the corner and then makes him lift. Trademark.
I think he's trying to push him to. How many times we've seen the one push the 15, the 15 gets beside the 17, and he capitalizes and take over second.
Yeah, but if you're Chapman, that's what you want to see out your rearview mirror. I would love to see this race go green, though. This is going to be interesting to watch.
Get a nice green flag stop in.
That's going to completely shuffle the field. I mean, everybody's pretty much under a blanket exiting one, going into the tunnel turn, but how is strategy really going to play out in this race? Because right now, this is not strategy, this is maintenance. And then once we start going through green flag spots, that's when the real stuff starts to rise to the top.
We had some guys stop on lap 41. I'm looking at the lap they stopped.
The 27 of Clark Gennigan.
You got him, Victor Fluger, Joshua
Stevens,
O'Connor.
lap 40.
Yeah. So I wonder if some of these guys maybe will be able to stretch it from here. Like you said, I'd be interested to see it go green, because I wonder if we had a few caution laps, if they were able to save a little bit. We said, what, 38.5?
34.
Or was it 34.5?
34 or 35.5. But I'd say a comfortable. Ooh, Moreau in the wall.
Oh, I saw that. I think it was 35.8. Now that you're saying that, I got my numbers on there. 35.8. So
Just like our turns.
Yeah.
Richie is highlighting this in the chat on YouTube. Man, that sucks for Moreau, man. Running really well in that P2 spot, comfortable. One corner puts him in the P5 spot.
Boy, they are still driving their hearts out, and it doesn't look easy out there in these trucks. You would think these trucks would be stuck to the ground pretty good here, but man, they are hanging them out.
I would rather run a cup car at Pocono than a truck. These trucks are so aero sensitive.
Well, that and the lack of horsepower, man, you just kind of get stuck there. You see how
Like
hard
slot
it is.
cars.
It's hard to pass the leaders, you know. It's
Moreau's making a charge. I know he falls back in the line behind Justin Gann here, but he obviously realizes he fell short into the stick on that last one. Justin Gann inside of Jonathan Atkins for P2. Oh, we got a spinner off of the tunnel turn.
looks like it's Chris Susky. Goes around off turn 2. Finally able to find it. He just slides to a stop. Lets everybody by. Going to spin it around and get it going once again. But yeah, Stusky spins off the corner, and he was in the top 10, I believe.
He was.
Let's go back and look and see if he had help or if he just got loose there off the corner.
Oh yeah. It looked like he just clipped the paint.
Yeah, he clipped the apron.
I've done that
there.
before.
Just de-wedges the car and around it goes, and unfortunately slides into the inside wall.
He's running a P9 underneath the Godfather, Tony Solar.
Yeah, plenty of room there. He just kind of got down on an apron and it de-wedged the car and got him loose.
This kind of neutralizes everything we just talked about in pit strategy. So you stay out here, you might get eaten alive.
I'll tell you what he did right, though. A lot of times in that situation, we see some guys step on the brake and just lock it down right there in the middle of the corner. He kind of gave it some gas, spun it on around, and got it off the track, so he didn't get collected by other cars behind him or around him. So had some heads up driving from the 96. Even though, unfortunately, he spun there, he was thinking ahead and able to kind of still manipulate his truck during the spin.
Yeah, having been in that situation before, if you want to keep the fenders on it, I'd rather lose the 4 shoes that I have on me than to have cosmetic or aero damage, because that could easily upset the handling with how sensitive these trucks are.
It's easier to replace the shoes than it is the fenders.
Absolutely. Or like you guys said in the last broadcast, Richie was like, we'll just take a baseball bat to it. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
These trucks are so sensitive in aero.
All right. Here we come down pit road. Looks like the leaders are going to come here. Could be the last stop of the night. They can make it from here. A little contact getting into pit road. So 17 and the 1 are basically bump drafting down the pit road here. Tell you what, that one's been a little pretty aggressive in all his moves so far here tonight. He's not willing to put it on the line.
He's itching for a win. But yeah, the 17 was dragging the brake there.
He was pushing on the track. He's pushing on pit road too.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 17 was close to getting caught speeding there.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. I know some of those guys are trying to be careful with that. So looks like everybody made it there. Everybody's coming off pit road. And Ryan Chapman going to lead them off. So
Pocono is such a weird pit road, though.
We got Ted
especially
Pullen.
with that inset right there.
Ted Pullen in third. Did he take 2 tires? He's pulling a little pit strategy.
I like that. That's another good one. That's another zinger.
Well, if you hang around Tawny enough.
He's a one-line king.
I just try not to pick up the bad ones. I just...
The ones that get you called to the hauler.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. The ones that... The dad joke versions of some of the things he thinks is funny. But yeah, Ted Pullen doing a good job up to third spot. Put a little strategy.
Did he take 2?
Yeah, I think he took 2 tires. Which is going to be interesting because I don't know what 2 tires is going to do here. These trucks look on edge as is. You mix and match some tires and it could get a little tricky.
Chapman chooses top. Common trend here tonight.
There's a Wraptor spotlight. Ted pulling one of the Wraptor Graphix cars up to third spot. A little pit strategy call here, getting late in it. 25 laps to go when we hit the line for the restart. Doing a good job right there. Up to third. Michael Thwaite's in the top 10 as well. He's up to 7th in the number 99 as well.
Austin Moore in that 5th place position. We'll have to see how the 95 plays out, but the 12 car here showing some good speed early.
12 machine there for Speed Demon Esports. Shaq Grant, I'm sure, looking on. Got Justin Gann right there with him as well. Another Speed Demon Esports car. Along with Darren Clement. Well, we got the last pit stop. Well, what could be the last pit stop, I guess, out of the way. They can make it from here. The question is, will we see another caution, or is this going to be the run to the finish?
Yeah, that last caution kind of eliminated what we as fans were hopefully wanting to see, is how the strategy was going to play out. Now we're just going to keep a blanket over the field, and we're just going to see more of this great racing that we're seeing up front.
Yeah, I wonder why we're lagging back so far from the pace car.
Yeah, well, we're delayed right now.
Delay of
I think
game.
they were trying to figure out, yeah, delay of game penalty on the 88. They were trying to figure out what was going on there. Richie quoted, "Tony is the godfather of bad dad jokes."
Yeah, that's about right. Sounds about right. Yes, that would fit. Got one truck dropping to the inside there. It's Joshua O'Connor. I think he's just out of line. We're good there. We're going to see the green flag next time by, so it's going to be one more lap. 24 laps to the end of the race. You got a Ram up front in Ryan Chapman. You got a Chevy of Jonathan Atkins in second. You got a Toyota in third. Your first Ford in the field is Tony Solari back here in ninth spot. Good looking trucks out there too, all of them. Ryan Chapman with the branded colors. You got Jonathan Atkins there in the silver car, the silver Bullet. Although it's not the Coors car.
Yeah, no, it's a good looking truck for sure.
Nicholas Moreau. Nicholas got his company name on there. Easy Crew. It's a AI assisted crew chief app. You got Ted Pullen right there, Wraptor Graphix. We've talked about them all night. Again, thank you for them coming on board to sponsor the race. They're going to be sponsoring some more races coming up as well, and looking to get involved in the league. Love to see it. Happy to have them on board. Love the colors too, and the logo. I tell you, my son loves the logo, the dinosaur. You can't go wrong, or the Raptor, I guess, but he calls it a dinosaur. You can't go wrong with a good logo like that.
Yeah, 2 Wraptor Graphix cars in the top 8.
Yeah. All right, pace car is going to peel off. Green flag flies. Ryan Chapman brings him down. Jonathan Atkins in second. Here comes Ted Pullen, Nicholas Moreau, and more to challenge for this lead.
Yeah, not a great restart by Ted Pullen here, but they're going to collect themselves on entry here.
Jonathan Atkins is going to go for the lead on the bottom. Ryan Chapman up the track, way up the track on exit.
Whoa.
I
think guys are going to be aggressive here.
Jonathan Atkins still trying to get there. He does. He still gets there to the inside in turn 2.
There's not a lot of real estate there in the rows 6, 7, and 8. And they're spinning off of 2.
Jack Ritchie spinning off the
Hard
corner
hit.
there. I think it's
Hard hit. There's JC involved.
and I believe
That all started on entry there, too. Jack Ritchie got tight. He had somebody on the inside, had to lift, and they started jumbling up in the center of the tunnel turn. And then obviously we saw what we saw.
there was a green truck involved too. Was that? I'm trying to look for him.
That was
Justin Gann. Yes.
yeah. Yep.
Big damage for Jack Ritchie there. Justin Gann towed to the pits. I think he might have alt F4'd there after that. Let's look at this this replay here between Jack Ritchie. So, yeah, who's that truck on the outside?
Ted Pullen was on the outside of Jack Ritchie, and Justin Gann was on the bottom. I hate to see that for Justin Gann. What a good truck.
Oh yeah, contact with Jack Ritchie and Ted Pullen sitting Jack Ritchie on the inside there. Pushing the issue, and it's tight racing out there.
Tires are cold, no grip. Not up to temperature yet. Hate to see that. Took out a couple good trucks.
So we're on board with Justin Gann. We'll back this up for him.
They hit that wall hard.
Yeah, both of them did. Yeah, he auto forward out of the game.
Justin was there on entry, and Jack had to move up to the second lane, the second seam there, and obviously he gets into Ted, and we see what unfolded.
All right, we're going to take this opportunity to go to a quick side-by-side commercial once again for Wraptor Graphix. Tell you about them. We'll come back on the other side. We'll be right back.
For years, business vehicles have roamed the streets. Plain, invisible, forgotten. But something new has arrived. A predator of branding. A truck that doesn't just drive, it hunts for attention. Introducing Wraptor Graphix. Corporate and fleet wraps designed to turn vehicles into unstoppable moving billboards. Bold designs, precision installation, branding that dominates the road. Seen by thousands of people every week. Dallas, Georgia, serving all of Paulding County. Wraptor Graphix. Evolve your brand. Visit WraptorGraphix.com.
All right, back here at Pocono Raceway for the Wraptor Graphix 200. Let's hear from Wraptor Graphix again. Wraptor Graphix car semi-involved in that last incident. Trying to hang on. He is back in 5th position there. We'll contact off turn 2. All right, we got them doubled up. We're looks like we're going to extend it one more here. Clicking these laps off under caution.
Yeah, we're in the sprint window now. Still haven't seen enough green flag run to really see who has a dominant car on the long run. We've always got really close to that threshold to see who was actually going to prevail up front, and continuously seeing the same names mentioned at the top. But I really would have loved to seen it go green there.
Yeah. And things are just going to, on these restarts, are going to ratchet up just a little more and more and more. The later we get in this race, these restarts are going to get a little more wild, and they're going to have to play a little more defense. Because it seems like leading is really important here.
Yeah, track position's key. Leader choosing the outside row, common theme tonight.
Yeah, actually, Atkins was able to get that lead away from Chapman there before the caution flew.
We'll have to see how Chapman does on the bottom this time. I don't think I've seen him starting on the inside row this entire race, so definitely have to measure his entry.
And Austin Amore farther forward than he's been all night, now in that the second row on the outside there. He's going to have a great view of the restart and see if he can capitalize and put himself in position there. Nicholas Moreau, Darren Clement now in the top 5 as well in the 32 truck. You were talking about him at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they do on the short run here. They kind of faded once they got swallowed up by the rest of the field, but if they can somehow get single file pretty early, they could get some clean air on the inside of the nose here.
All right, pace car is going to peel off. We're going to get another restart here. 20 laps to go at the line. Jonathan Atkins, your leader. Green flag flies.
Yeah, Chapman almost measured the restart there, but Atkins clears, as we've seen with most leaders starting this race.
Nicholas Moreau side by side with Austin Demore. Austin with that run down the straightaway. but they're still going to be side by side in turn one.
Austin DeMore gets a really good run on the 2 here. Clears.
Boys Chaos behind them, though. They are 3 wide back there. Michael Thwaites, Aaron Satcher, Tony Solari, all in this mix here.
The 95 fell off, and I wondered if it was because of that 2-tire call. I mean, he is falling drastically. That's like a parachute. Even his teammate passing.
Yep, Thwaites and Satcher actually side by side here. You're right. Yeah, it's feeding time at the zoo. You see them, they're going at it back here. With 19 laps remaining, 2 and 3 wide back here, trying to get every spot they can on these restarts. I tell you, the restarts are so important.
Atkins chooses the bottom lane on entry there in the 1. They're single file all the way back to the rat's nest.
Yeah, Chapman second, but he's getting beaten up by the 12 of DeMore, who looks inside as they go into the tunnel turn.
Moore is showing great early run speed here on this restart.
Oh, little contact as he gets loose.
Big contact here.
Wow,
good,
he hangs on to it.
Good save.
Yeah.
Good save.
That was a big save there coming off turn 2.
Darren capitalizes.
Oh, he's going to slide it right in front of him.
Yeah, slide job.
Darren's trying to get a little bit of that draft from Austin, or from Nicholas Moreau right there in front of him. He's kind of in that no man's land there on the inside, just see everybody lined up on the outside lane. So it's a lonely feeling. But you get to the corner and you're like, okay, the inside's not bad. And then you get back to the straightaway and you're like, oh, never mind.
Well, Darren cut him a break off of 3, and he's like, I'm going to get you back in 1, but obviously he doesn't have the momentum that he needed, and he had to choke up on his entry. Fall in line, grab the composure, regain that momentum and energy that you needed to get back up there. What put you in this position to begin with.
Yep. He's got Atkins, Chapman, Moreau, DeMore, Clement, your top 5. Tony Solari now in 6 spot. Where did he come from?
It's the Godfather. Can't count him out. Really good early speed here by the 11.
Looking at tires, the last pit stop, everybody pitted on the same lap right now, so all the tires are even. Aaron Satcher working over the back of the 11 Solari here.
He did a really good job there off the exit to keep the left side of his nose just underneath Tony to keep the air on it, so that way he doesn't get tight off of 1.
You almost said 2.
Yeah, I literally almost said it. It's easy to do here at Poker.
Yeah.
Chapman takes the lead.
There's no other track where you come off of turn 1. It's 1 and 2. 1 and 2, and then, or at least in oval racing,
Yeah. The tricky triangle is definitely a tricky race to announce.
Tricky, yeah, it's tricky in all forms. Oh, here comes
Atkins is going to try and take it back.
He's trying on the inside of Ryan Chapman into turn 1. Got to gas it up and hope for the best as they come out of turn 1.
Tight.
Still side
Chapman
by side.
did a good job.
Yeah. A lot of momentum off that corner on the top side. Chapman's figured that out.
Atkins definitely has the speed. You could see the way he's driving, charging the corner, and he just doesn't have the breaking point in just yet. But as we see the 15 kind of swallow up the 1 here, but the 1 is really good, and I think that's starting to show. Oh, into the wall.
Oh.
Moreau got into him. 3 wide across the line.
Yep, here comes DeMore to capitalize, trying to go through the middle there. Yeah, Jonathan Atkins struggling down the straightaway. You lose that momentum, you're going to lose a lot of positions, and that was a pretty big hit off turn 3.
Can't see how that's going to help the 1 here. He's tight too.
Oh, he's in the wall again.
Got to regain composure here. If you're the 1, you got to capitalize, regain your focus, charge the energy, get back into the front. Got to remain composed.
Also,
he's driving. He's mad.
Yeah. And mad at himself, probably. I mean, that's, in those situations, you bounce off the wall like that. He might be a little mad at 15, I'm not sure. But you mostly mad at yourself for putting yourself in that position or having that issue. He's loose again off the corner. But in front of him, Moreau having an issue as well.
3 wide.
Here we go. 3 wide.
Great racing right now.
Darren Clement, Jonathan Atkins, and Moreau off pace there on the top.
I don't know what happened to the 15 there, but my Lord.
He got loose or got tight, one or the other. Wagging the tail off turn 1.
32 got loose underneath him.
We're going to get the one to push down the straightaway. They got to get back in this because it's a 2-car breakaway up front.
Yeah, the 12 of Austin and Demore definitely took advantage of those 2 mishaps there. Tony, top of 3. In the middle of 3.
Top of 3 in the middle of 3. Oh, man.
Oh, my Lord.
That
was
is
close.
sight off the corner. Who's that in the middle?
Held my breath there.
Was that Thwaite? I think it's Michael Thwaite's in the middle there. And, boy, he had to think skinny there for a little bit.
Austin's closed the gap on Ryan Chapman.
That's off this battle. 13 right there and there. Aaron Satcher, Zach Stevens. Last night's winner. He's charging towards the top 10 here.
Tony, the P5 spot.
Oh, my goodness. Behind him, Robert Malikian, the 32. I mean, I think half of them there missed the corner.
Yeah, they were sideways. Great racing, though. The way that these guys are able to control their trucks is impressive. We should have wrecked by now.
Yeah.
Great racing.
That's crazy. I know some of these guys probably are not having fun with it, but man, it is fun to watch.
Yeah, but with these trucks, man, I mean, you get side force on them, so you can hang it out there. But I can definitely tell you it's probably not going to be as well for the right rear as it's screaming around the corner.
All right, they kind of get single filed out here. What's going on up front? Well, not too much. You got Ryan Chapman, Austin Demore kind of off by themselves. Third place is Jonathan Atkins, Nicholas Moreau in 4th. Right, Tony Solari snuck up into 5th through all that.
Austin's being very calculated here. He's lifting a lot earlier than Ryan, and I'm wondering if that's because he's trying to save the right front.
Is he saving, or is his truck just not? Oh, he's in the wall a little bit off turn 3, just touches it.
If he wants any chance at going after the 17, he needs to be very smooth here. Keep an eye on the 1 car. Him and Moreau, they've got a mission.
Yeah, they're going to have to work together to kind of catch up here. 11 laps remaining.
Yeah.
They come around to 10 to go. They can still get there, but they're going to have to work together a little bit to make that happen.
Got to make it to the end. 1 loose in the tunnel. Those are our 2 fastest trucks, I think, looking at lap times. Overall, last 5, last 10 average puts Ryan Chapman and Austin Demore at the front of the field here. But I would be a betting person if Vegas was involved right now and the books were saying it. I wouldn't count the 15 or the 1 out of this race.
You saw the big snake down the front stretch. 17 goes way down to the inside, even into the painted area. Austin Moore following them. 17
The 1 again. My gosh. 15's going to cut him a break, and he's going to push him down the backstretch here.
Well, the last thing you want to do there with those guys is be side by side, even though if you think you're a little bit faster, or is he going to make
The
it
1 is
past here?
struggling.
Yeah. But you need,
The rear end is shaking.
Unfortunately, if you're the 15, you kind of need the 1. You know what I mean? You can go by,
Yeah.
but you'll be by yourself. You need that draft down these long straightaways.
Yeah. I mean, they've closed the gap for sure. They're down to about less than a second, down to 9/10 to the leader. I'm keeping an eye on the 11, though. He doesn't have much help around him, but If things get dicey up front, the 11 might be able to overtake here. Using little F1 references.
If I was him,
12's on the wall.
Oh. 12 with an issue off turn 1, hits the wall. That's going to back him up to the 1 and the 15. They're going to make a move on turn 2. They are. The 1's going to go to the inside. Oh, a little contact on entry 1.
Going to hold him. Yeah. He held him up there.
2. He's going to make that pass, though.
Did you say 1?
The 1 in turn 2 for the 3rd time. I don't know.
Yeah. Good catch.
All right. Well, I got around the 12, and I'm sure. Oh, the 12 hard.
On the wall again.
Hard hit on the in turn 3 there.
2 corners completely changes the outcome over your position.
And I wonder if the turn off, the hit off turn 1 damaged it, and it did something different in turn 3 he didn't expect.
I mean, he kind of hit it pretty flush, so I think this is kind of like where the 1 was earlier in the race. A handful of laps ago is you got to regain your composure, get back to hitting your marks, run your line, get back, moving that energy, pushing forward, start hitting your marks, get back to the front. You can do it. It's definitely possible. As you see the 1 and the 15, now the gap's to 1.1 to Ryan Chapman here, but these two could work together to get back to him.
Well, they can see him out there. We're going to have to do some work to get to him, though. 1.2 seconds as we cross the line. It's going to be 7 laps remaining here at Pocono for the Wraptor Graphix 200.
Chapman just needs to maintain currency here. Keep that gap, manage it. Don't push it too hard. Don't get into the wall. He'll probably walk away with this one unless we get a late race caution here.
Going back to the 11, I don't think I finished my thought on him because we had some things going. Oh, he's track there. If I was him, I'd just kind of ride. He's got company now with Robert Malikian. By the way, we haven't mentioned Malikian's name tonight. Here he is in the top 10, trying to get into the top 5 here. So showing up late in this race. But if I was the 11, I'd sit back there kind of save my tires in case we do have a late race restart and maybe pounce from then.
Yeah, the margin's about 2 seconds here. You got to just maintain the gap.
Yep.
And if we do go green all the way, which Team Chaos here on board with you today, it's a good point to say though. P5, if he can maintain, as we see Robert Malikian go inside the 11 here as we enter turn 1.
Yeah, side by side, Malikian looking to get into that top 5, wanting to break into the top 5 here. Inside of the 11. So they're going to hold tough here on the outside through 1 and 1. See, I almost did it.
It's easy to do. Kudos to the 12 car, Austin.
Yes.
He's able to get the momentum back, and he's gotten back to the 15 again.
He has recovered nicely. Had a couple of uh-ohs. What am I trying to say? And has recovered there. I thought he would be falling through the field with some damage, but he's been able to kind of find his groove once again here.
Yeah, if the 1 and the 15 can't figure out the real estate here, Chapman's going to walk away with it as the margin is now 1.4 as we cross the line with 5 to go.
Well, they are side by side now, so Moreau going to take that on the inside. Jonathan going to lift, I think, and let him have it here. So now it's up to Moreau. 12 in the wall off the corner there. And actually, Tony Solari able to hang on to 5th right now as well. But there's your leader. Ryan Chapman over Nicholas Moreau. It is 1.4 seconds. See if they can close in. They're going to cross the line. 4 laps remaining. Actually, Tony Solari starting to inch in on the 12 now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bringing the 18 with him.
If you're Tony here, do you try to get one more, or do you try to settle in for 5th?
Sorry, that's the 16. I can't read. I don't think he'll be satisfied. He's going to have to face the 16 first, though. Here comes Malikian on the inside of him. Got Ryan Chapman coming up on Jack Ritchie here, who's off the
Man,
pace.
I almost saw a big wreck off of 2. Huge 22 big save there. Almost brought out a caution here late in the race. Just kind of throwing that in there. This pack back here for 19th could be the outcome changer.
Well, they are getting at it after it pretty hard here.
Moreau's cut the gap to 1.2.
Oh, contact off turn 1 between the 22 and Joshua O'Connor in the 59. They keep it going though. There's so
Really
many
great
different, yeah, so many different places to look. These guys did a good job hanging on so far. You're right though. Nicholas Moreau's cutting it down just a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be enough as they come around. They're going to see 2 laps to go, and it's still 1.2 seconds. So 2 laps remaining, and Ryan's just hoping to get back around here and see that white flag, because if he could see what we're seeing back here with some of this racing, he'd have he'd have a heart attack.
I can only imagine what a live spotter would be telling him. It's like, hey, just got to maintain gap here.
Well, as a live spotter, I don't think you're going to tell it. You don't want to upset. You don't want to.
I don't know. I think there's a difference between like too much information and not enough. I think in this case, if Ryan is really pushing it, which I don't think he is. I think he's just managing. But if he is pushing it here, and if I was his spotter and I could see those metrics, I would tell him, hey, you need to back it off here. There's a lot of really, really hairy situations in the middle of the pack. Tony's falling back.
Yeah, Malikian actually.
Austin in the wall.
That's a white flag, though. 1 lap to go for our leader, Ryan Chapman, as these guys battle for position. Michael Thwaites trying to get into the top 5 here in that 99.
With 1 second margin over Moreau, Chapman just needs to put 2 more corners together, and he's going to see the checkered flag and win today's race.
Battle's going to be right here. Can Robert Malikian get 3rd place away? Jonathan Atkins with an issue off the corner. He's going to look to the inside down the backstretch. Can he steal this away on the last lap?
Impressive.
Here comes the 16 entry.
One's going to get the
turn
charge.
2. Going to get tied off the corner there. The 1, little loose. Ooh,
Loose.
32 loose back there behind him.
Almost took out the 11.
All this happening
Chapman
back
off of 3.
all behind Ryan Chapman. The 17 of Ryan Chapman going to come off turn 3 for the final time. He's going to take the checkered flag in the Wraptor Graphix 200 here at Pocono.
Atkins got around the 16.
Yeah, he was able to hang on to that. Robert Malikian in 4th, Austin DeMore in 5th, and we got a wreck at the start-finish line.
Wonder what
in
happened
the
there.
world?
I did not even see that, and it was right underneath me. Started off of 3.
This goes to be Michael Thwaites involved.
Maybe he's just got loose from the top. No. Oh, wow. State Farm car got into him a little bit.
No, it wasn't Michael Thwaites involved. Sorry, that was Joshua O'Connor racing the 22 of Michael Blackner, and who is that?
Looks like Chris Susky in the 96.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the 99 gets turned after the start-finish line. Sorry, that was the 95. Sorry, I'm getting those numbers mixed up. There was a lot to unpack right there.
Yeah, somebody hit the inside retaining wall after the checker. That looked awful.
So Susky goes around off of the 59. He slides across the line, and that's fine. But then something happens to Ted Poulin there. As they cross the line, they're door to door, him and the 59 of Joshua O'Connor. That's a big hit after the checkered flag, but
Huge hit.
well, that's going to be interesting. Ryan Chapman getting it done here, though. Burning it down for the crowd. The 17, the branded Ram machine, takes on the win here tonight at Pocono Raceway. While he's burning it down and celebrating with the crowd, let's look at our results here for the Wraptor Graphix 200. It's going to be Ryan Chapman getting it done here tonight. Nicholas Moreau in second. Jonathan Atkins finishes up in third spot. Robert Malikian, a great charge there at the end to finish fourth. Austin Demore comes home in fifth position in that 12 machine. Michael Thwaite's a great run for one of the Wraptor Graphix cars. He finishes in sixth in his Toyota. Seventh spot for the 11 of Solari, as you said, the Godfather. He comes home in a solid seventh position. Eighth spot for the 32 of Darren Clement, fast all night. Ty Lounsbury finishes up in ninth position. 10th for the 27 of Clark Ginnikin. 11th spot going to Aaron Satcher in that 13 machine. J.C. Evans, it was a tough claw you can night for the J.C. Evans machine, but he gets it done in 13th spot, 12th. 13th for Zach Stevens in his Dodge Ram. 14th spot for Brett Gardner. 15th for Victor Pfluger, and 16th going to Joshua O'Connor.
In the 17th position, we got Ted pulling in the 95. 18th, we have the 29th of Derek Catt. In the 19th position, we have Mike Forstner. In the 69 and 20th position, we have Michael Blackner. 21st position, we have Dave Nestor. In the 22nd position, we have Chris Husky, which that was somebody we were watching earlier in the race as well. It's sad to see him go all the way back to the 22nd spot. 23rd position, Marshall Johnson. 24th position, Chris Gore. I would have loved to have seen Chris done really well in this race. And obviously, you know, he didn't have the finish that he was looking for, but he capitalizes 25th position. 26th, Casey McMullen. 27th, Joseph Burgess. 28th, Jack Ritchie. You hate to see it. He was up in the mix in the top five for most of the race today. 29th position, Simon Magin. 30th position, Britt Casey. Hate to see an early departure from him. 31st, Martin Garreau. 32nd, Justin Gann. One car that we definitely had an eye on to win this race today. 32nd position, Kyle Milliken. 34th, Stephen Hassett. 35th, Christopher Harrison. 36th, Colton Gum. And 37th, Alan Duranco.
All right, well, there's your finishing order after Ryan Chapman takes the checkered flag here at Pocono. When we come back, we'll talk to our top three finishers and see what they have to say about tonight's event. We'll be right back after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are Best One.
The best tires.
The best customer service.
The best automotive service.
And the best customers. You see, Best One isn't just our name, it's who we are. Since 1948, Best One has been delivering quality and dependable tires and full-service automotive care to our customers. Best One, selling tires, serving people. We are Best One.
This isn't just a wrap. It's a transformation. From the racetrack to the boulevard, we design wraps that turn machines into legends. Race cars, hot rods, exotics, boats, monster trucks, motorcycles, ATVs, you name it, we wrap it. Every curve, every line, custom built to unleash the beast inside. Wraptor Graphix, power in design.
Back here at Pocono Raceway, finishing up the Wraptor Graphix 200 on full throttle television for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series here, where Ryan Chapman has gotten it done and got the win. I'm going to throw it over to our post-race show now. Sponsored by the Fine Line of Whiskey podcast. Brian, I think you know a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the host of the weekly Cup Series review and iRacing segments with my co-host Nick Alford. Check us out on Apple Podcast and Spotify. We'll start broadcasting the iRacing show segment starting this week, and then we'll come to you live Saturday and Sunday on both of those platforms. So check us out.
See, I like that. I can just throw it to you and let you describe it instead of me having to describe it every week. You can just kind of, hey, you know more about it than I do anyway.
Yeah, we love what we're doing, and we obviously are trying to grow this thing into what it should be, which is for the fans and for the community. So, like I said, if you're on Apple or if you're on Spotify, check us out, Fine Line and Whiskey podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.
I can definitely vouch for them. It's a good listen. It's a fun listen. I say it every week. I love listening to kind of see where you guys take it with your comments, your personal spin on it. A lot of fun. So definitely do check it out. I can definitely tell you you'll have a good time listening to it. You get your NASCAR news, and you also get a few laughs along the way. So it's a lot of fun. All right, let's talk
you get your NASCAR news pretty early.
Get that out of the way so you guys can have a little fun, right?
Yep.
All right, let's talk to our top three finishers. Let's start with our third place finisher. That is going to be Jonathan Atkins. Going to pull him in here. Jonathan, congratulations, man, on a solid finish. Third place tonight. You had a strong truck. You were up there. I don't think you ever left the top. Well, we'll say top five. But man, you had a fast truck, but you were hanging it out. It looked like it was a handful sometimes.
Yeah, it everything I had to drive it pretty hard. It had a little bit of damage, and it was hanging out more than it was earlier, but it was free. I think you have to keep it that way, especially in traffic, because the nose would just take off in traffic. So I snuggled it up a little bit on the pit stop, but nothing too extreme, just because the way it drove behind another car. So it was fun. I like Pocono.
Yeah, they say loose is fast, and it looks like you were trying to get all the speed out of it you could there. You were definitely hanging on at times, man, but it looked like it was a lot of fun. It was fun to call. It was fun to watch you guys really, really put on the show out there up front, trying to make those passes, but it just seemed so hard to make a pass, especially for the lead. You'd pull the inside, and that guy on the outside just have the momentum coming off the corners.
Yeah, it was really hard. Unless you could clear a slide job almost, then that was really the only way to make the pass work. And I got by Ryan there right before the caution, and I think he was going to enter 3, and we were going to have a good little race. And then the caution came out, and he just got a really good run off of 1 and took the lead back going into the tunnel turn, and that was all she wrote. But it was really hard to make the pass on the bottom. I trying to get to their outside, and then I'd push too high on the outside and lose it. But it's a tough track. But we had a lot of fun. That's 3 up there.
Yeah,
it's for interesting race.
Yeah, we're putting on a good show up there. You had Nick up there, the 12, the 17. You had a lot of guys up there really racing hard, fighting hard. Had some guys kind of falter there towards the end, unfortunately, get involved in accidents. But we kind of had a rash of cautions at the beginning. Then we had some green flag running at the end. Were you better on the short run or long run? Did you kind of set up for the long run? What was kind of the approach here tonight?
Well, I was hoping we'd get some longer runs. I think the one longer run we got there, middle of the race, I felt really good about the time we had a caution. I was coming back to Ryan, and the caution came out. So I think he was a little faster than I was on the short run. I could hang with him, but then once tires wear off, I feel like I could have made a pass if we had a little bit longer run. And then I think the longest run we got was there at the end, and I had wheel damage from smacking the wall, and it didn't drive the same after that. So
yeah, I can understand that for sure, man. Made a little manual adjustment to the truck.
Yeah.
Well, man, congratulations again on third place finish. You guys definitely put on a heck of a show out there. I love seeing it. You were really hanging out there at times, so it was fun to kind of see you hang on to that. So good solid finish, good points tonight. I'm going to throw it to you, though, and let you do your shout-outs and your sponsor plugs.
Yep. Thank Wyatt for all his work on the truck. I literally got home at 8:45 today and jumped in the car and went. So he did a lot of work on it. Didn't make the race, but he worked a lot on the setup. And so Wyatt, all my teammates at Shockeye, Studio 10 Rats, Miller Family Trucking, Speed Ranch, Churchill Roofing, Bab Construction, and My Smoking Hot Wife.
All right, we can get them all in there, especially
Nice.
that wife. You can't forget that. That's when lets it happen every week.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Good
All
job,
right.
Jonathan.
Thank you.
All right, there's our third place finisher, Jonathan Atkins. Second place going to go to Nicholas Moreau, who I think, Brian, you are standing by with here on pit road.
Yeah, Nicholas, obviously, you had a pretty interesting start of the race, and you guys were kind of flip-flopping the inside outside row selection at the beginning of the race, and we saw you and Jonathan, kind of swapping positions at times there, and just kind of walk us through a little bit what was going throughout your portion of the race from the beginning to the middle to the end.
Um, well, it was a good race with Ryan and Jonathan at some point, but about me, it was not because I've made too many mistakes as a driver. Like I didn't race as I should, and the truck was good enough to keep the pace for sure. But I think I had too much turn in. When I practiced with the truck and set up the truck, and I was like, I need more turn in, and finally, um, the, it was about drive off, because it's a momentum track. Ryan had a very very nice track to at each exit. I was not able to stay right behind him. So yeah, it was a wide race. I had a very fast truck, a very very short run, keeping the bottom. Um, and at the end, well, I hit the wall too many times. I hit, I think, Jonathan too. So I was mad against me at that point, and I tried to help him to stay up front, but I knew that he got damaged at some point. So well, I knew at that time, I didn't win. I'm not winning that race. Ryan was too fast for us.
Yeah, but we saw there late in the race, you had a gap, a margin of like 1.4, and we saw you cut about 4 tenths into Ryan's lead. Do you think before that last restart there, if you just happened to get out in front of Ryan, do you think you would have had anything for that 17 truck?
Yeah, well, I made some changes on the last pit to to give me some more dry off, and well, in the traffic, and I'm I didn't know about that change yet. And when finally I passed Jonathan and I've got a clean air, I was like, oh, okay, I don't have the same truck as before. I tried all of again, I can all of again, but it was not enough. But definitely the long run with the truck was better than expected. So I was like, I lost some time helping Jonathan, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, we definitely appreciated it being up here in the broadcasting booth and seeing you go through trials and tribulations and swapping positions with Jonathan and whatnot. The car looks solid from where we could see, but overall, man, like congratulations on a P2 finish today at Pocono. Shout out to you. Any sort of sponsor plugs or call outs that you have?
Yeah, thank you, boys, again this week, and shout out to Ryan and Jonathan for that Wally week. Justin too at some point. Thank you, Transit, Easy Crew, Easy Web Pro, all people watching the race on the broadcast, and we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah, congratulations on the P2 finish, Nick.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's take it down to victory lane. I'm standing back down here with Ryan Chapman. Ryan getting it done again here at Pocono Raceway. Ryan, congratulations, man. You pulled out a lead there at the end and was able to kind of drive away from those guys. He was catching just a little bit, but you had that gap and you needed that clean air. It looks like you got out front and you took off.
Yeah, it was fun, guys. Definitely fun battling with Nicholas and Jonathan, obviously. But yeah, I knew once Jonathan hit the wall, I had to try to extend it as far as I could. I might have pushed it a little too far because I was starting to get a little tight at the end, so I kind of just backed it off and kind of babied it a little bit just to make sure I didn't hit the wall. I mean, I knew Nicholas was going to gain a little bit, but I knew with the amount of laps and the gap I had and seeing how not quick it was shrinking at the end, I knew I could back it off a little bit and kind of ease it into the corners more, just trying to keep the rotation in it. But overall, yeah, it was a good last 22 lap run we had.
Yeah, it seemed like anytime you got that truck out front, it was really hard for those guys to get back by. They would try on the bottom, but you kept getting that great run off turn one. That you were using that upper or the middle lane, I guess, off turn one. You were able to kind of get a little higher than some of those guys and carry that momentum off. They just could not get back around you once you took the lead there.
Yeah, the key I found out was as long as I could keep them on the bottom and keep that second lane, I knew it was going to be really hard to pass, especially going into one and then out of two. So, I mean, I kind of felt it in practice. I kind of worked around that area a little bit more, just trying to see, and also running the officials, just seeing that second lane work and seeing what you can actually hold going into that corner. It really benefited me because it was just easier to keep them pinned so they couldn't get that run off the corner, and I could just kind of shoot by them on the top and keep the lead. But yeah, that was kind of the main ticket to doing this and getting this win was really holding that second lane and not giving them the outside because the outside was so preferred at this track going into one at least, and then three you could make that second lane work, but your truck had to want to make it work.
Yeah, well, you definitely had it working for sure, man. You maybe lost. I think you lost the lead at one point on pit road, but able to get it right back from Nick Moreau, I believe. Some of those guys kind of you were shuffling around up front, but it just seemed like when you got up front, you were able to kind of stabilize better than all these other trucks. I think you had probably the truck to beat tonight once you got that clean air. It was all about track position. You were able to get it on that restart and run away for sure, man. So it looked quick, and I got to tell you too, your fan base is growing in chat too. I know we got what
Yeah.
Richard Holmes, you got Diane Chapman out there watching as well. Got some other guys watching too, so that's cool to see. Love to see them watching.
Yeah, especially since I'm running a lot better now and running up front a lot more. My mom loves tuning in, watching. She texts me during work all the time. When are you racing? Are you racing tonight? My dad is watching. He just doesn't comment. He watches every single race. My girlfriend's at work right now, so she can't watch, but I know she was asking me about it. And then obviously the branded people, Richard's always supporting and always chatting in. And it's cool to see him hopping in and giving the 17 a shout out. And like it was cool to finally get to put on a good show for him. Nice, clean, fun show.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. You guys definitely put on the show out there. I'm going to throw it to Brian and let Brian have a few comments here. I know Brian, your first time in the booth, maybe getting to talk to Ryan here. So just take it away.
Yeah, Ryan. So you cut the lead to Nicholas Moreau in the standings. You're down by at least 32 points. You've got 3 races left in the season. What is your thoughts on the next series of schedules? You got a road course, you got intermediates involved in all this. Is there a shot for you to be able to put the 17 in the season A championship conversation?
I'm hoping. I am hoping. I'm tired of finishing second to him. Um, I want to say yes, but as a racer, but obviously I'm gonna humble myself and just take it one race at a time. I know I'm good on road courses. I know Nicholas is good on road courses. So it's just I gotta find that little bit extra more. I gotta find that little more grit than Nicholas to keep him close. Last week was a hard race for me. Um, Obviously I didn't get any stage points last week, so that really hurt me. and then finishing where I finished, that also hurt me. But this is a good bounce back, good revamp. But it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna give it all I have, um, and just see how it all plays out.
Well, it definitely
Yeah, it
is.
was an honor. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it was from our perspective up here in the booth. You obviously put on a really good show, and we saw some interesting changes with the lane selection at the restarts. But you've got 3 races left. Definitely something worth paying attention to as we go into Texas next week. I will say, for the first time being in the booth, it was very exciting to watch you, and it was an honor to call your race.
Appreciate it, man. It was awesome to have you call it. I mean, always good having seen a new face in the broadcast booth. But yeah, that whole pit thing, Brody, I'm definitely gonna talk to my pit crew because that pit box is very slippery and I'm not happy about it. So we will be having to talk about that over some beers. But yeah, they need to put some stuff down there next time to make sure my tires don't slip.
Don't you work with tires? So you should know all about that, right?
I work with the rims. The rims were working perfect. Yeah, I need to go talk to Goodyear about that compound because, man, that thing was not gripping up on that pit road.
I hear you, man. Well, listen, it is a great bounce back after last week. I know you had some struggles last week. Bounce back with a win tonight and in dominating fashion. Like I said, I think you had the best truck out there from what I saw. So congratulations again on the win, man. And I know you talking about the points championship. All you can do is control what you can control. That's all you can do. And if that's not enough, so be it. Exactly. But if it is, we'll see what happens, man. I think you're in the conversation. We got 3 races left. We'll see what you can come up with, man. So congratulations. I'm going to throw it to you, let you do your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Hey, if I can't win that championship, I might put on a show trying to. But anyways, obviously Elevated Esports, also Elite Performance Industries, and Jarrett Liebert for the amazing truck set. The guy always has me hooked up. I mean, he's one of the best in the business. I really can't do anything without him. He's obviously the one putting this truck together and just making me look really good. Obviously all of our partners, Victory Fuel, Elevated Outdoors, Gums Auto Center, Gums Napa, Branded, obviously, for being on board again, as always. Love getting them dubs. So Richard and all the boys back in Connecticut, hopefully I made them proud tonight. And yeah, everyone, the whole team, after last week, I was all over the place and they all kept me in it. My mom and dad and my girlfriend definitely had a talk with me after last week because I was really frustrated, but shout out to her. She's actually the one that convinced me to run tonight. So I definitely have to give her the dedication to this win. But yeah, overall, just everyone that over Elevated and you guys for broadcasting, because obviously this wouldn't be possible without you guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations once again on the win. Another chipping away at that points lead. We'd love to see what's going to happen next week, but enjoy it this week. We'll see you next week at Texas.
Thanks,
good job,
boys.
Ryan.
Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, there's your winner tonight, Ryan Chapman, in that number 17 branded Ram, getting it done here tonight at Pocono, the Wraptor Graphix 200 here at Pocono. Brian, it's been an honor having you here, man. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. You've done a well of a job. Richie's going to have to, he might be sweating on vacation.
No, this is definitely a temporary statement. No, you guys do such a great job here in Full Throttle TV, and we appreciate you for allowing us to come on as a premier sponsor for the post-race show. But yeah, man, I mean, what an exciting race.
Hey, we love having you on, not only as a broadcaster, but a sponsor for you guys and your podcast. It's great. It's great stuff, and we want to promote it as well. So love having you guys on board. And I need to talk to you too, because you got a pending race broadcast we got to pick out too. I don't know if Nick told you, so I'll be in well, it come with a race broadcast, and you guys have to pick that up. I guess Nick didn't tell you. We'll talk after the.
Didn't tell me at all.
All right. Well, I'll get with you on that, man. But it's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed as well. Next week, Texas Motor Speedway. You can't miss that one. That's going to be a lot of fun for the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. We'll see if Ryan can go 2 for 2 or somebody else shows up. Should be a lot of fun around that track. It's a very unique track. You don't want to miss it. Next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. right here on Full Throttle Television. But that's going to do it for us here at Pocono Raceway. For myself, for Brian Messer, and everybody at Full Throttle Television, hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week from Texas.